Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Miss Finidita and everybody. How are you today? Feels so healthy, right? So am I. Okay, now I will introduce myself. And my name is Antonius Stanley Waskita with NPM 190710100. Wants to tell you about creating an epic games that will solve the problems faced by children in my community. First of all, do you know about game? The description maybe? Or do you think games are a bad things or games are a positive things for children? And I want to ask you something about, is a game can boost the name of his nation? Or you can say that children who playing game too much is a bad, right? Okay, from now on, let me explain you about what game is it. The description is, game is an activity that use electronic media and is an entertainment in the form of multimedia that is made as attractive as possible so that player can get something for their inner satisfaction. Playing games is a means of learning for me, because in the game we can learn several things such as improving English maybe. We can also know about the histories of various countries and etc. The type of game is very depending on times. When viewed from the graphic used in the game application can be classified into two types. There are 2D, we can know as two-dimensional, and the last one is 3D, three-dimensional. Games, when viewed from the way they play, have various genres or genre stream include: first, the first-person shooter, or we can say FPS, like shooting game, and then role play, like playing some character, and the third one is arcade, and the fourth one is adventure, and the fifth is simulation, and there is more genres and etc. Okay, let me explain you about what is first person shooter. The first person shooter is a 3D fighting game where the game screen display is made based on the player's eyes view, like first person. And the second one is RPG. RPG is a game that is usually themed adventure, in which the player a character and has additional equipment as a complement adventure or battle. The third one is arcade. Arcade is a game genre that is not focused on story but only play just for fun or to chase point or high score. The fourth one is simulator. Simulator is a game that emphasizes the reality side. All factor in this game is made as close as possible to the real world, such as materials, values, reference, and so on. And now I want to tell you about the problems in my community. In my community, there are some children who have problems with the way of thinking in social life and lack of knowledge of general education. Therefore, I have an innovation to make a game that can train their social spirit and of course can also train their general knowledge, more like children's intelligence and dexterity. In the game application that I made, there are many games that I have made according to the training requirement need by children. If children wants to train their intelligence, they will play games such as Lego puzzle. You know Lego puzzle, right? Where children will be direct to arrange puzzle or make an innovation according to the direction of the game. And of course, in this game there is no violence at all, so all people can play this, from children, teenager, and old men. In the game, to train the child's intelligence, this game can make children imagine in making things, such as assembling a car with the direction given by the AI in the game. Children can also make an arrangement of buildings that will be built in the shape that they want. And also, in the game application that I made, there is a rank feature for this intelligence game feature that is used to assess the result of child's work in a way that those who have complete their imagination in making things will be entered into the available leaderboard, and the highest rating will win, and the person with the highest score will win. And who will judge the result of children's works? The answer is the game master of the game itself. Okay, now I want to tell you about if the child wants to train their dexterity. If the child wants to train their dexterity, then they will be transferred to the features of the game application that I made in the form of a sport instructor. In this child's agility training, there is no rank feature because this feature only gives instruction on how to exercise at home properly. I think in this year, because there are COVID, maybe children less sport. Yeah, maybe they are so fat like me right now, can maybe, and they don't doing any sport, anything, and just playing with their PC maybe. Then I will explain you about if the child want to practice about their social experience. If the child want to train their social experience, then they can play simulation games to interact with the surround community. In the game, there are so much conversation and so much episode option that are used to continue the story that will be played the child with the words that have been prepared in the game. The child only has to choose which conversation should use or which conversation should not be used. From that way, children don't need to hesitate to socialize in their social life. I think from what I said before, the game that I create can change the behavior and mindset of children in Indonesia. I say this because I understand the children in Indonesia lack manners and lack of imagination to build a nation. With the education of today's young people, later in future today's children can change this Indonesian country to be better and more advanced in terms of thinking and most importantly manners. Why I say most importantly manners? Because in Indonesian culture, manners are very important to live life in Indonesia. That way we can form the manners of today young people so that later they can become useful people, of course with good manners like us maybe. Okay, that's all from me. Sorry if there are mistakes in my grammar and mentioned the wrong word. And thank you, Miss Benedicta.